Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? I got a company named Gated that's going to be joining me live tonight. Um, I'm honored to be able to be invited to an interview. I'm going to try to add him real quick here. And Roberts, he's the owner of the Gated. This Gated, what the shirt I got on, the hat I got on, it's a Gated apparel company. And
Good
hello,
evening.
Astor.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, brother. Glad to have you. Let's give everybody just a minute here to tune in.
Sure.
Um, I was telling him a little bit about you and what you're doing here. He has the gated apparel. As you can see, the hat and the shirt I got on. He's got all kinds. I've got other kinds of shirts and stuff. He's got a great selection of stuff. Nice boots. I mean, top of the line stuff. This ain't no cheap stuff neither, guys. This is the top of the line, real deal clothing. I mean, it's not something made in China and he just had gated put on it with iron. I mean, he didn't do that. It's real stuff. The brand is gated. Okay, it's the real stuff. It's not nothing that they sent over to his mall shop and had it embroidered on. It's nice stuff. It really is. But anyway, he's going to be
Well,
doing
we
an
thank you.
interview.
We thank you.
Hey, I thank you, brother. It's pretty good
For
stuff. But
sure.
anyway,
For sure.
he's going to be doing an interview with me, and it's just kind of it's live. It's not rehearsed, so I've accepted the interview, and I appreciate him asking me for the interview. So it's a it's a blessing to me. So we'll go ahead and get started just whenever you're ready.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, as Emerson told you, my name's Ashton Roberts with Gated apparel line. We basically started an apparel line for all the gated horsemen. Just felt like it was a void in that industry, and we kind of wanted to give something that we could you know that we could call our own. Um, like Emerson said, we have t-shirts, hats, button-ups, and we're adding a lot to it as well. We're a small business, so we're doing it as much as we can at as fast as we can. But we basically just want to pretty much give the gated horsemen something that they could call their own. Um, but also, with that being said, we also see that there's a void. He's got a few of the button ups right there.
Here, here's just a few of the ones I've got. Check it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Back of it. Ain't that slick? I love it.
yeah.
That's nice. Y'all see that logo? You know who it is. You know what I mean? I mean, it's gated.
That's
So
right.
I mean,
That's
you know
right.
what they're
That's
all about.
right.
Look, what a nice shirt. Look at the back of it.
We
It
sure
says gated
appreciate it.
across the back of it. It's
We
nice
sure
stuff, guys.
appreciate it. Yeah, we're working on it. But like I said, we wanted to do clothing for the Gator Horsemen. But not only that, we noticed that there's a void as far as like I feel like the gated breed is getting really popular. Um, and I think there's a lot that people don't know that they would want to know. Um, maybe they don't ask because they feel like you know you they don't know who to ask or are ashamed to ask or whatever the reason is. But we feel like if we can connect with some of the good trainers, the good gated horse trainers around all over, and kind of pick their brains, we can start to learn more about the gated breed as a whole. So that's why we have linked up with Emerson just to kind of pick his brain, and we're going to ask a few questions about him personally and about his training program, and what one can expect if they send a horse out to him to get trained, and then even also if you have a horse that you feel like you got a pretty good handle on, but you just need a little help here and there, you want to ask a question, maybe he can help give you a solution. So I guess we'll, go ahead and get started, and just have Emerson tell us a little bit about himself and how he got into training horses.
All right, guys. As My name is Emerson Williams. I own the name of my training business is Emerson Williams Horsemanship. I'm located in Hillsborough, Kentucky. Um, Kind of got into the training side of horses. Um, let's just start here. I've always had a love for horses. Growing up, I've always had the love for horses, and in order to train my horses, I didn't have I didn't have the money to send them to trainers. So if I wanted my horse trained, I had to do it myself. And so if you do anything yourself enough, especially training horses, you will learn. They'll teach you.
That's
So
right.
the time
That's right.
time has went by and my experience has grown, I have also found ways of communicating with my horses. We'll call it communicating with my horses and training my horses safer. I'm getting older. I'm not real old. I'm not going to tell you my age, but I'm not real old. But anyways, when I was younger, we would I have to admit that the way I trained horses when I was younger, we just jumped on them and went,
Right.
and it was fun for me, and I didn't really realize, really, I didn't realize there was another way of doing it. I just thought that was how you did it. I thought to break a horse, you just got on and rode it, and where you ended up at, and that's worked
Right.
for me for years. I mean, it did, and I wouldn't call myself a trainer at that point, but I did train my own. I would call that breaking horses,
Right.
not
Right.
training. We breaking horses at that point, okay. And as the experience has climbed and the grounds got harder and I've got bigger over the years, I have felt, and the horses has told me that I was going about it all the wrong way. And we have learned methods and we've established methods to do this safer. And I have found that taking my time and doing groundwork with these horses and establishing a good foundation with these horses is actually, it sounds slow, but it's actually faster than just jumping on one and going. I can jump on one and go, but he's not learning nothing.
Right.
All I am doing is burning an image in this horse's head. He's hating me. He don't
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm doing. I don't understand what he's doing, and we're just riding together and we're just trying to figure each other out. We need to
Right.
understand each other before we ever get on. So like I said, as I've got older and my training has progressed, I've learned ways of doing this slower, safer, and actually faster. So it's slower and faster at the same time. It seems slower, but I
Right.
can get faster results and better results faster than you will by what we call cowboying.
For
So
sure. For sure. For sure.
mhm.
Well, that kind of leads me to my next question. Is there anyone particular that got you into training? This actually training horses and not just cowboying, like you said.
good good friend of mine, Vernon Stamper of Overlook Stables. He's always been a
Mm-hmm.
mentor of mine. I've known him for years. He's an older gentleman. He's in his 60s, I'd say. So if you're out there and you're 60 years old, don't be mad at me because I said you're old, but I apologize for that. But he's older than me, gentlemen. He's 60. He's up in his 60s, and I think he's about like me. He has learned the hard way that training horses, there's an easier way of training horses and there's a safer way of training horses. And I've hung with Vernon for years, and what I've learned from him is a lot safer practices than what I was used to back when I was just riding horses and just jumping on and going. Um, I kind of just taught myself a lot of it. Just like I said, you got the whole world is full of knowledge. Anything you want to know, you can look it up, and there's answers to everything. But I feel that if you spend enough time with these horses and experience climbs, that you will learn where what works and what don't work, and you'll learn easier ways of training horses. But anyway, if you ask me, somebody that really helped me out as training and as a mentor, as a trainer, I would have to say Vernon Stamper. he's a real dear friend of mine. You know, he's been doing this for years, and you know, I think the world of the guy, obviously. So, uh,
Gotcha. Was what type of horses does Vernon? What breed of horses does he typically train?
Vernon Stanford's been typically known to train the Rocky Mountain horse, now,
Okay.
or let's say mountain horse. He's got
Okay.
he'll train. I think he'll train about anything. I don't know exactly, but I know 90% of the horses there. What he raises is Rocky Mountains. He's a big breeder too. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
he breeds a lot of horses, and he trains a lot of Rocky Mountain horses. Everything he
Okay.
breeds and raises is Rocky Mountains, and 90% of them he trains as Rockies as well, or Kentucky Mountain, which basically the same horse. They're just a little different registries, but that's a whole
Oh,
nother
I got
story.
you.
But that's
Okay.
yeah, that's what he
Cool.
does.
Cool. Okay. So tell us about how long have you been training? I know you said
I started.
since you were young, but about how long have you been seriously training?
I've been training my own for a long time, and then I
Hmm.
started training for the public. For the public, when I say public, I'm talking friends and family. People I had to know
Hmm.
you. 10 years ago, I had to know you before I trained your horse. Training wasn't my thing then. I had a busy work schedule, and I wasn't fortunate enough to be able to train horses for a living. And
Hmm.
so I was training for friends and family and people that knew me. And you know, as time went on, things just got bigger. Word gets out, and like I always say, a good mechanic ain't looking for things to fix. They'll find him. So that
Right.
seems to
Right.
has happened to me over the years. Is the horses just kind of found me, and things just got bigger and bigger. And I started training publicly for everybody. I guess probably about 3 4 years ago.
Okay.
So
And that's all you do now, right? It's just train horses.
I'm also an industrial electrician. I do
Oh,
that for
cool.
just to keep insurance, but I pretty much do that part time. I do
Oh,
that for
okay.
insurance, and then I train horses of the evening and the days that I'm not up there. But
Oh, perfect.
so
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah,
Man,
I'm working on becoming full time soon maybe, but the way the insurance is and
hey, you
things
gotta
like
have
that,
it.
yeah, and I've got 5 kids, so it's
Yeah.
not easy for me to just, stay home and train horses for a living, or
I
not
hear
without
that.
having some kind of good insurance. If you're going to do
You
this
def
for a living, you need good insurance.
yeah, you definitely gotta have that insurance. That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, that that brings me to my next question. If someone was to bring you a horse, um, and they say, hey, we've done nothing with this horse. This horse knows absolutely nothing. You know, we just know we want it trained, and we want to be able to ride it. First thing you assess of that horse. Once you get it in, what's the first thing you look to see if they know, or what's the first step?
The first thing I do with every horse, I evaluate the horse.
I
I
think you
learn
may
the
have
horse, and
froze
I
on me.
want to. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Hmm.
Okay, the reception's not the best it ever was, but the first thing I do
Yeah.
with a new horse is I, I put him in a round pen,
Okay.
and I want to make sure that he knows that I'm the boss. We need to establish leadership.
Right. 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 Okay.
Okay, and
Okay.
after we establish
And then
leadership,
what do
if
you
I
what do
find out
you
that he
what's
thinks
the
he's the
follow up
leader,
after that?
once I find out, we got a little bit of lag here. We'll just have to deal with it. But anyway, once I establish leadership with the horse, with every horse, I don't care if it's been what it needs. I act as if it has never been touched every time it comes here. It don't matter what it is. I'll act as if it's never been touched, and I'll do groundwork with it the whole 9 yards. Because first thing it's going to know who its leader is. if it don't establish me as a leader, I'm not going to ride it. You know, we're gonna work on that from the ground before I ever get on its back. And that's a lot of problems. A lot of problems people have is they rush through this, and a horse might do good for somebody. It might think you're its leader, and you might think it's somebody else, and all of a sudden, hey, it's going to try you. You know what I mean? I mean it.
Right.
So when they come in here, I'm going to make sure that we're on a full. Me and the horse is on an understanding of who the boss is before we go any further. Then I want to try
Right.
to find the background out on the horse. Obviously, I'll do all the digging I can and research I can, and hopefully I can take the owner's word for it of what this horse's issues is or what its background is.
Would you say the horse learning, who the leaders, who boss is that the most important thing a horse should learn first?
Yes, yes, sir. You got to establish leadership.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I think
A
yeah, yeah,
horse
yeah.
wants a
I
leader.
think
They want a leader. They need a leader. They have to have a leader. Either
right,
you're going to lead
right.
or you're going to follow.
That's right. That's right. They are pack animals for sure.
Yes, sir.
They're definitely pack animals for sure. Well, I'm gonna throw a little monkey wrench in the questions. I want to know just off the top of your head, would you rather have a pacey going horse or a trotted going horse, and why?
That depends on the discipline. What
Okay.
we're using the horse for.
Okay.
I have if I want to ride a lot of flat roads, a lot of speed. I'm looking for speed, and I'm on flat ground, and I'm looking for something that I'm not going to really trail ride, hold on, just something to get out on these straight stretches and let them eat. It'll
Mm-hmm.
probably be I want to go with a trotty horse.
Okay.
You know, they're more square. They tend to have be a little faster, but not in all cases. So I know
Mm-hmm.
somebody's going to say you're wrong on that, but anyway, I tend to like a trotty horse. But now a trotty horse on the trail is not a fun ride all the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
saddlebreds and things like that, you'll start trotting around in the trail and things like that. So in that case, I would want a pacey going horse.
Right.
I like a looser horse. If we're down low and we're just gliding around the woods and we're on a whole bunch of old mud and big rocks and things like that, I don't want a trotty horse. I want something
Right.
that'll just kind of glide along and flop around, and things like that. But
Right.
so there's a trotty and a pacey horse is to me is you can use either one, but they're both for different disciplines.
Okay.
It just depends on what you're doing with the horse.
For sure.
My
For sure.
preference, my preference, I like a trotty horse because I like a
Okay.
fast horse. I like a fast
That's
horse.
right. That's right. Hey, we're kind of seeing eye to eye on that one.
Yeah.
Used to it wouldn't make a difference, but after going through a few head, I feel like a trotty going horse is a better horse suited for me, and then also my abilities. Of course, I don't call myself a trainer, but a little bit I do know. I tend to be able to handle a trotty going horse better than a pacey going horse. So that's
The
definitely
pace, the pace is extremely hard to get out of one, especially if it's been in the wrong hands and they've allowed it to get by with this throughout the years. But that pace is terrible to deal with sometimes.
you bring up a good point though. Do you think let's say a horse that's bred to pace, or he or she is just a pacey going horse. Do you think it's um, do you think, since both of us like a trotty going horse for what we go after, do you think it's a pacey going horse is so bad if it hasn't been touched, or do you think it's worse for what we want after it's been touched and then we get a hold of it? Because I know a lot of people say that they like a pacey, they like a pacey going horse for the same disciplines that we use trotty horses for, but they like them when they're untouched and they think that they make a better ride. What do you think?
I think a pacey going horse is definitely a lot easier to deal with if somebody else hasn't already been touched it because like I said
Mm-hmm.
you a lot of that is it's doing what it's learned to do. Obviously, it's going to do, see, a pace or a trot is easier to do than a 4-beat gait. So either if the horse is on a diagonal, he's going to trot. He'd rather trot as he would gait. If the horse is on the lateral, he's going to pace before he'll gait. A lot of time it's easier, so they'd rather do that. And if you got the wrong rider on board, and you're just allowing the horse to do this, and you expect it to get better without changing something, then it's not. You're just teaching it to do. A horse is a creature of habit, and if you're going down the road and you're just allowing this horse to pace, 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 pace every day, he's not going to get better. He's not going to get better because he thinks that's what you're wanting to do. So you've got to change something. That's the definition of insanity, and it's doing the same thing every day and expect different results.
That's true.
So you got to change something.
Very true.
And if these people or just ride these horses sometimes and just allow them to do that, just let them know that, let the horse know that what it's doing ain't right. And of course, there's some exercises and things you can do also. And some horses are just bred pacey, pacey, pacey. They're bred to pace, and it's just, you can't really cure what they're bred to do. I mean, it's just some of them does, but not every case. But there are other cases that the rider is definitely brought onto them.
Right. Speaking on that, what are some things, pacey and trotty? What are some things you can do as far as shoeing to cure that? So if you have, let's say you got a pacey going horse, but you want to make a sure enough racking horse out of him, and square him up. What are some shoeing tactics that you can use to do so without maybe? I mean, I know the typical thing to do, or the the masses, people of the masses think that you just throw weight in front of a pacey horse and that'll square him up. But what are some other things you can do shoeing wise to square one?
For a pacey horse, you can it's a lot of, all it is the timing of the footfall. On a 4-beat gait, you either got a, like on a pace, you got a 1 2 1 2 1 2. You got 1, which is your left lateral, then you got 2, which is your right lateral. Your sets of legs, pace, 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 pace. And if you want to start getting that pace out of them, what you need to do is start changing the timing of the footfall of these horses. You got 1 2 3 4 is what you want. You want an even, steady beat, 1 2 3 4. Now, in order to change that timing on a pacey horse, what you got is your left hind and your left front is hitting at the same time. Your right hind, your right front are hitting at the same time. Okay, so we want to change that a little bit. We want to speed the back end up. So if we speed the back end up, then the left rear all of a sudden becomes a little quicker than the left front. So now we're hitting down the ground on just a little bit faster. So if we get the back end a little faster, we have broken the pace up a little bit. We're not hitting at the same time no more. We're hitting barely in front of the front foot, which is what a lot of people call a stepping pace. And in order to get the timing changed, it's a lot about weight and angles. You got an angle set on the back of a horse, on a pacey horse. If his angles are set down real low, if he's got a real low angle, he's going to set down low and he's going to start reaching with his back end. He's going to reach just like you would. Just pretend if you want to try this out, try it at home. Get out there on a flat shoe, just a flat shoe and walk. Just do a normal walk and spray paint the lines everywhere your foot touches. They call it overstride on a horse. Spray paint the line everywhere your foot touches. Get a partner, whatever you want to do.
Right.
Do it again. Put a set of high-heeled shoes on and do it again. And see if your stride don't change. See if your stride don't change. So what I'm getting at, on a pacey horse, if you put a heel on the back of him on a keg shoe, you can go with a keg. You don't have to have no flat shoe or bar. A lot of people want to jerk the back shoes off of the pacey horse because they feel that the weight on the back end's making them work, and the weight does affect them, but not near as much as the angle does. So you got that angle on there on the carts, and you got your horse sitting there at a higher angle on the back of a pacing horse. He's gonna have a shorter stroke, and it's gonna break him up a little bit. Versus if he has a flat shoe, his stroke's gonna be a little longer.
So when you say, basically when you say a higher angle, you want to be more of a you want to be more of a going at an angle like this instead of
Yes.
a more flatter angle, correct?
On a pacey horse, I would do what they call stand him up in the back end, set him down in front. We're going to take every
Right.
on the back end of a pacey horse. We're going to take every bit of the toe off we can get. Take every bit
Exactly.
of it off. We're going to grow a heel. If you don't put a shoe on, you can't grow a heel. You can't grow a
That's
heel
right.
barefoot. You're going to wear it off. So we're going to leave a heel on him. We're going to put a heel on him. It's going to be on a shoe. He's going to have a heel. He ain't going to have no toe on the back. Stub him
That's
plumb
right.
up on the back end. Front end, we're going to set him down. We're going to take the toe. We're going to leave the toe as long as we can get it. Not
Mm-hmm.
not not really long as much as we are at the angle. And then we're going to
Right.
take the heel off. We're going to set him down on the front end. Setting him down on the front end is going to make him reach. That toe is going to make him reach. And when
Mm-hmm.
he reaches, his timing slows down.
That's right.
He's in the air longer than what he was before when he had the little stubby feet. The back
That's
end's going to
right.
be stubbed up. The front end's going to be longer. His back end's going to be quicker. His front end's going to be slower. So what happens is our 1-2-1-2 turns into a 1-2-3-4 because it's on the timing. All
Right.
that
Right.
changes your angle.
And yeah.
And it takes time. You can't just take a horse and say, here, change his angles. It takes time. It takes time sometimes to grow a foot on these horses. They don't, a lot of them don't have a foot yet. Somebody's been riding one barefooted for a while. It might take a year to get a good heel on him. And
Right.
like again, a lot of it comes in rider error.
Right. And like you said, sometimes when you don't have heel, you have to give them heel with the shoe.
You got to
Uh,
make one, a
yeah, you
shoe,
got
or
to make a
sometimes
heel.
you can use a wedge or whatever you
Yeah,
got to do
pad or
to
something. Right.
create an angle. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And a
Okay.
trotty horse, you would just do the opposite. A trotty
Right.
horse, you don't want no toe. You want to leave him no toe on the front, stab him up on the front,
Get
give
them
him all
low.
the heel he can get on the front, set him down on the back end, get him low on the back. Because you're trying to create a back end on a trotty horse, you need that back end. You need that stride. He don't have no overstride already. His overstride's
Right.
weak. So when you
Right.
you set him down, you're creating that back end. He's able to get underneath himself better and breaking up that diagonal. Get more
Exactly.
center.
Make them engage a little bit in the back.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha.
that's right.
Okay. Okay. Well, right now, I want to take a second and tell all of our viewers. First off, I want to make sure that everybody can hear us good and can see us good. And then also, I wanted to let everybody know that if they share this video right now as they're watching, you'll be uh, entered in a raffle to get a free hat, a free gated hat. So if you guys will share, everyone that's watching right now, if you share, yeah, we got a few. We got the blue, we got a red. We also have these new blacks with
Yeah.
the embroidery on the side. We got some dad hats coming as well. Uh, but yeah, if you guys will share this video, you'll automatically be entered into a raffle, and we'll do that raffle in a few days. Uh, okay, let's go ahead and go to the next question. Our next question is going to be um, as far as let's go back to getting a horse to your facility and getting you to train one. Um, let's say they have a horse that's untouched and they want to bring them to you for 30, 60 days. Let's go 60 days because honestly, I really feel like 30 days is not enough for any horse, especially one that knows nothing. And I believe really 60 days is not enough, but a lot of people don't, either have the money or the patience to have one in training longer than 60 days. So let's go with 60 and say, what can a horse expect? What can they expect their horse to know after they've done 60 days with you in training?
Anybody that sends a horse to me in 60 days, and you can go to my YouTube channel, my Facebook, I can send you videos. If you don't believe it, you can ask my clients. I've had them
Wait,
here
before you
usually.
before you answer that, what is your YouTube and Facebook? Let's go ahead and tell them right now.
My YouTube channel is EK Williams 26,
Okay.
and you should also find me on there as Emerson Williams Horsemanship on YouTube.
Okay.
I have not I have not done
Okay.
much of my YouTube over the years, so it's not real big, but I do have videos on there. Um, I've always relied on Facebook, which is a mistake, but I have done that. because they've been shutting me down lately
Right.
just for trying to sell horses or whatever. But anyways, that's
Oh, yeah.
another can of worms. Uh, EK Williams 26 on YouTube.
Okay.
Emerson Williams Horsemanship on Facebook. Find me on there.
Okay.
And
Okay. Good.
well, what
Good.
was the
Good.
question again?
I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean it. I wanted to make sure they knew where to find you on YouTube and
I
but
appreciate that.
yeah, for sure. The question was, what can they expect after 60 days of training with you?
They can expect a horse to stand still while mounting. He ain't
Okay.
going to run off. They can expect him to be safe.
Okay.
He shouldn't hurt you. They can expect him to be desensitized to about
Okay.
everything I can find, anything they can recommend. Um, they can expect him to be in parades, horse shows. I've got videos of horses no longer than 30 days under saddle with my kids riding them, 11-year-old boy in horse shows. They've been under saddle 30 days. 5-year-old mare just here recently we started. We took her up at the horse show and my kids is riding her around. So can I finish a horse in 30 days? No. My kids ain't your kids. My kids are have been raised on horses. So yeah, they can ride, but they're better riders than I am, really. But anyways, that we can absolutely put your horse through everything we can think of. We what what you can expect is a good foundation, well, a good starting point. Without a foundation, you got nothing to build from. You can't build on something if you ain't got a good foundation. So we're going to get him started, right? We're going to get him standing in the saddle or standing still for saddling, tacking up. He's going to stand still while you get on him for mounting. He's going to flex. A lot of them I'll teach them to come over to mounting block. That's a big one. I have found that
Okay.
over the years, people want safe. People want safe. That's their biggest priority over anything. I don't know. It seems like it's bigger than the gait. A lot of people don't
Right.
really care about the gate as they do the safe. They want safe. Nobody can afford hospital bills and be laid off work or get hurt, maybe worse.
Very
Uh, so
true. Very
so
true.
in my program, we focus on safe. We get safe first. We don't worry about nothing else. 30, 60 days, we just get them safe, going under saddle real good, and we show them to everything we can think of. We put them in everything we can think of, horse shows, parades, whatever we can do. We do all that for you. And when you come pick him up, he's been through it. Now, again, he started. He started. He's not a finished horse. It takes years to finish a horse, but they will have a great foundation on them, something to build from. So that's what I focus on here. And
Perfect.
and
Perfect.
and to go ahead and throw this out there, I broke a lot of horses in 30 days, and and now I require 90 days. I do not start horses unless they stay 90 days anymore. I just don't do it because owners want safe, and I also want safe. I wouldn't feel good to send a horse home and somebody get hurt on it. I want it 90 days, or if I train it from start, it has to stay 90 days. That's it. Only
Right.
if I start it from scratch. If I start it from scratch, it's got to stay 90 days. That's the only way I do it anymore.
Okay. Okay. So,
Because I want
okay. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So you do not take anything less than 90 days,
not to
correct?
break, not to start. I don't start
Okay, not
nothing.
to start. Okay. So
I'll
you'll
finish
take a
horses.
horse that's already been started.
I'll finish horses and I'll correct horses that's been started. But as far as me starting one and putting my name on it, with this has been started by Emerson Williams. It's going to have to stay 90 days. That's a new thing I just done. But and I've been doing it, and it hasn't slowed me down none. I've still got plenty of horses. We're starting them. I mean, I've still got plenty, and shoot, I'm just my results are just getting better. So it's working out for me, and it's working out for everybody else. I'd rather you not. I'd rather you not try to go the cheap route and do a 30-day thing with me and expect you'll have it. Because what happens is I'll send you a video of me riding a horse to a parade under 30 days, and then you'll take it home thinking you can do the same thing, and you might get hurt. And
Right.
I don't want to do that. Just because I did it, I'm a professional horse trainer. I don't not all the time that horse might not be just exactly ready for that. you have to take it easy for a little while. And that horse knows me. I've spent again, we'll go back to establishment leadership. That horse knows who I am. It knows I'm its leader, and I've worked with that horse for 30 hard days to get it to where it
Right.
is. And you just take that horse and send it home to somebody else, and they try to do what I just did. It might not work out so good. So that's there's a lot of reasons why I do that. But anymore, if I start one from scratch, it has to stay 90 days.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Um, let's speak on a little bit of a horse being started. A horse has already been started, but you customer just wants you to finish them out. Um, what are some things that you like? What are some techniques that you use to deem a horse finished? Or I think maybe a better question is, what is a horse? What would you say a horse needs to know to be deemed finished?
A horse to call it finished, what does it need to know?
What all does it
Um,
need to know? Yeah.
First of all, it's got to have experience. It doesn't really, like I said, I can make it. I can have it knowing about anything you want it to know in 30 days. I really
Right.
can. Uh, in 30 days, I can have one of knowing everything you can teach an old horse. But if it don't have the experience, it's not finished.
Oh, trust me, I
So
believe you because I've seen it.
that's it, brother.
I've seen you do it.
Yeah, you can know a lot of things, but if it ain't got the experience, it might ignore what it knows too. My kids know
Definitely.
better to do a lot of things, but they do it anyway. They're getting better as they grow. So, but
That's
anyway,
right.
knowing something and following that's two different things. But anyway, a finished horse needs to know it ought to be flexible. It ought to flex. It ought to be
Okay.
soft in the bit. It better not be
Okay.
pushing on no bit. It better not be pull. It better not be hard to hold. It better not be
Okay.
behind the bit. It better be what I call on the bit.
Right.
It should be it should have its gait established. It should do a full beat gait perfectly. Uh, without having to sit back and try to teach it everything it ought to do it all on its own if it's finished. It ought to stand for mounting. It ought to you ought to be able to hunt off of it if you want to. Whatever. That's what I call a finished horse. Something
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have to worry about. Something you can pull out of the pasture and go hunting on it, whatever you want to do, anytime you want to, whatever you want to do. So just take him to the horse show over the weekend, turn him out, whatever, leave him out for 6 months, come back and get him, take off on him, and you ain't got nothing to worry about. That's what I call a finished horse.
Right.
And like
Right.
I said, that
Oh,
comes with experience and time.
okay. Okay. Well, for the people that are watching and who may watch later that are interested in you, what are your price breakdowns as far as I guess starting one from ground up or finishing one or maybe just maintaining or just riding one up. What's what's your different price breakdowns for that?
The price usually just depends on what you want done. Um,
Okay.
I've got a basic rate that I charge, and just to bring one in here and do basic. And what I mean by basic is just trail riding it, desensitizing it, and just teaching it all just the basic stuff. I charge $650 a month for that, um,
Okay.
and I supply all the feed. I do all that. I supply the feed, everything else. You have to the owner has to supply the vet bills if there's any, and farrier costs if there's any, things like that. But as far as feeding and everything like that, I'll take care of all that. If you want me to start teaching it special things, I charge a little more. It just depends on what it is. I have people that want me to teach a horse to lay down so they can get on it. It's more time consuming. So if I had the more time I have to spend with the horse, I have to charge a little more for it. If I have to start teaching it special tricks and things like that, then my training usually fluctuates a little bit. But as far as basic training, it's 650. That's where we're locked at right now.
Okay. Okay. Do you currently have? I noticed you said you got quite a few head in the stable right now for training. Do you have? Is there a little bit of a wait, or can someone contact you now and get some horses to you?
Unfortunately, that's my biggest fault right now to me is I'm small operation. Like I said, I don't do this full time. I can't
Uh,
take in 30 horses at a time.
right.
Which even if I was full time, I technically couldn't do that anyways. But
Yeah.
uh, uh, I try to stay around 4 to 5 head at a time. That's all. That's it. And
Okay.
I got two guys that helps me out, and we train them. Like I said, we train 3 or 4 of evening, and that's about it. Any more than that, then you're not going to be able to spend as much time as you need to on the horses unless you sit out there all night. And I have done that. I have went overboard before and got too many in here trying to figure this stuff out. And I found myself working, past midnight in the barn just trying to get caught up on things, and it
Yeah.
was too
Yeah.
much. So I don't take in no more than 3 or 4 horses at a time. And unfortunately, I have a pretty good waiting list, and I do apologize to them people that's waiting. Uh, Fortunate for me is I stay booked up. Unfortunate is I stay booked up because I've got people waiting, and they're probably fed up with me. And to be honest with you, by the time I get to some of them, they've already found somebody else, and I hate that because I lose business. I'm losing a lot of people like that because they don't want to wait on me. But uh,
Right.
I, I I stay booked up. So it's I hate that part, but now I don't know what to do about it. I guess it's good and it's bad, good in one way and bad in another. So
Right. Right. Well, I
I'm
mean
not
it. I
easy.
mean it.
Usually I tell people if they want to get a spot with me, give me about 4 weeks notice, and I'll schedule you in. And I don't
Okay.
require deposits, so by not requiring deposits, they tend to. 4 weeks is it when my 4 weeks is ready, I'll call them up and they've already found somebody else, which I
Right.
don't blame them. If you want a horse trained, you don't want to wait till next year. So
Right.
I can't blame the people for doing that, and I always do appreciate at least they was on the waiting list, and I appreciate that. So
For sure. For sure. Um, I know you say you're in Kentucky. What's the town? What's the town in
Hillsboro,
Kentucky? Hillsboro. Okay. Where is that central Kentucky or?
Eastern Kentucky. I'm in Fleming County, close to Moorhead.
Oh, okay. 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 Um, do you have do you do any transporting of horses? Like if someone wants to get a horse in, do you maybe go and hitch up and pick them up and bring them to you, or maybe use a transporter or something like that to bring them to you?
Um, I can transport her myself. Uh, I also I've got 2 other transporters that I work pretty close with, and I usually just call them up, and they're about the most reasonable as I can find, because let's face it, a reasonable transporter is what helps me get my horses here. If I have a transporter that's too high, then I'm not going to be able to get my horses here. So
Right.
I have worked with, I've got 2 different transporters that I work with, and they're as low as $1.10 a mile. I mean, that's what they charge. I don't know anybody that transports horses lower than $1.10 a mile. If you're watching this and
No.
you do it lower than 1.10 a mile, hit me up. We'll work out something. But right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what we can charge. Only time I've ever had to go after some myself is if the horse hasn't ever been caught or been handled and they just can't get it to load, and things times like that, I will go out and help out like that too, and I'll show up and we'll catch the horse and put it in the trailer and bring it back broke. So I've
Okay.
done that too.
Okay.
I've caught them
Is it?
off the
Would you?
strip mine. I have.
That's right. That's right. Well, how speaking of, is that one of is that a basic um training method? Like if they have a horse that that won't trailer real well, um, would that be considered one of the training methods that you will get in your basic training with you?
The basic training, yeah, because I haul the horses. Most of the horses come in here are trailered anyways. I trailer them to local uh, horse shows, fun shows, or some little trail rides that's fairly local. About every day,
Okay.
I've got a trail that's about 3 miles from me that I like real good, and I'll just instead of riding them that far, I just throw them in the trailer and drive them up there. But yeah, I always work on that. That's basic stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Only thing I call that ain't basic is tricks, basically. trick. I would call it trick training. Some of it, I can teach horse tricks, but it's really you're starting talking to a different ball game there. But if it ain't trick training, then it's basic to me.
Right, right. Um, okay, so um, we've heard a little bit of your training methods and what people can expect if they send a horse to you. But I want to ask you, what do you? I know currently you kind of doing you're doing training, and then you have some other things going on as far as work goes. But what do you see yourself? Where do you see your training program in about 5 to 10 years? Like, what are your goals? Are you trying to get to completely training, and are you trying to get some horses trained up and get into showing, whatever it may be? What are some of the goals you have?
I have to. My biggest goal in horse training would be to turn all this over 5 or 10 years to my kids and let them
Mm,
have it.
mm,
That's my biggest goal, and they're well on their way. I've got
mm-hmm.
3 young boys. I got one. My oldest one's 12. I got a 12, 11, and a 10-year-old right now.
Okay.
And let me tell you, now they're good. They're all good,
Mm,
and they've been raised in it. They've seen me train them from all their lives, and but my goal is to give that to them someday, and I'll just be here. I don't expect to get big. I do this for a hobby. It's just
mm-hmm.
fun for me. It's a hobby, and I make money at it. So a lot of people have
Right,
hobbies and they spend money. It's a hobby for me, and I make money. So it works out
right,
for me. And I don't make a lot of money. I'm not out to trying to get rich. I enjoy it. I enjoy getting all the different horses that comes in here. It's so much fun getting to meet the next one. They bring a new horse up here, and it's so much fun getting to know him, getting to meet him, and getting to ride him. And I've met some of the best I've ever seen in my life here doing this kind of stuff. And it's a
right.
lot cheaper to ride somebody else's horse than it is my own. So
That's true. That's
that's
true.
just the truth, man. I mean, I can have 15 horses of my own. It's going to cost me a lot of money each month, or I can have 15 horses of somebody else's up there, and I can ride them, but
Right. Yeah.
and get paid for it.
If you really enjoy riding, training is the way to go for sure.
I enjoy it. That is it. If I just enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I definitely don't. Not trying to make a living out of it. It's not what but I have fun. It's fun for me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why I do.
Good. Good.
Hopefully
Okay.
my kids can have this someday, and I'll get them established in this, and they won't have to work at McDonald's whenever they're going through college. Maybe they can just
Yeah.
train
Yeah.
horses for me on the side while they're going through college and trying to get started out in life, and they don't have to do the things I had to do when I was trying to get started. Shoot, I used to have
Right.
to work at I was working 2 or 3 part-time jobs trying to go to school at the same time. It was rough, man. I had it rough, but
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
my kids can maybe it'd be a blessing to me to see them just ride horses and go to school. So
Hey, that's a good
hopefully
plan.
we can.
That's a good plan for sure.
Yeah.
Especially if they decide to go to school for equine science or something. You know that'll
Oh,
be that'll be great to
there's
pair up with their own training program while they're going to school. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have you know probably some hours that they'll have to have working with, I don't know, vets or whatever. So I'm pretty sure that'll go hand in hand with school if they wanted to get into
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool, cool.
Come on.
So my next question. I'm sorry, were you about to say something?
No, I just said I hope so.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. My next question is, what advice would you give to someone that wants to start training horses for the public?
If you're serious and you want to start training horses for the public, you need to first of all you need to be a people person
Mm,
because I'm going to be honest with you about something, and people watching this is going to know the same thing. A lot of your horse problems is the people. That's what it is. I'm sorry, but it's usually not the horse. Uh, we have problem horses, so but a lot of it goes back to the people, and you have to be in order to be a successful trainer. In my opinion, you have to be able to talk to people, and you have to be able to understand, to be able to tell them what they're doing wrong, and show them what to do right, or what you've done to fix the horse, or what they need to do to stay on the correct path. And it really comes, and I used to say this all the time, and I used to tell everybody, I'd say, well, I don't teach people, I teach horses. I train horses, I don't train people. But
Right.
as the years has went, I have found that I have to train people, because there's a lot of time it's not the horse, and it's not the people's fault. But like you just said, the whole point of this whole interview is to spread awareness of the gaited horses, and get people to understand. They're a little different. They're not different from me because this is all I know. I don't know nothing about a quarter horse. I've trained
Right.
quarter horses, but when people send quarter horses in here, and I'll tell them straight up, I say, look, I'll ride him, but I might mess him up. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how to, I don't know what you're supposed to even do with a quarter horse. It's just not, you
Right.
know what I mean? But gaited
Yeah.
horses has always just been, it's just what I've always done. And it's not nothing I have to learn. So it's hard for me to put myself in somebody else's shoes as somebody from the outside that rode quarter horses all their life. And now they're trying to transfer over to gaited horses. It's hard for me to put myself in their shoes and look at it from their position to say, hey, here's what you need to do, because it comes natural to me. I just get on a horse
Right.
and I know what to do. And
Right.
it's just because of experience. And it's all we know around here. So
Right.
I have to try to teach this to my people when they come in here. I have to try to say, hey, look, here's what we've done. Here's the bit we used. Here's how a bit works. But son, there is I, my biggest question in training horses is, what bit do you use? What bit do you use? I get that a lot. What bit do you
Mm-hmm.
use? Let me tell you something. If I ever design my own bit, I'll be able to retire, because I'll sell that bit to everybody I know. I'll be able to sell the fire out of it. That's my biggest question is, what bit do you use? If I wanted to lie about it and say, look, here's the bit I use, you know, I don't have one bit. I wish I did, because that could save me a lot of money. I have probably 50 bits in my barn,
Yeah.
and every horse is different. Every horse is different, and they ain't all. I do have favorable bits. Don't get me wrong. I have favorable bits. I got some that I like really well, and I wish that a lot of horses would accept this bit that I like, but not all the time they do. I'll have to switch that bit depending on what the horse is doing or what I'm trying to bring out of the horse. If I'm trying to get its head up, I'm trying to get its head down, I'm trying to get its head in or its head out, or I'm trying to break out the pace to trot. I'll switch these bits around. And some horses don't
Right.
like a broken bit. Some horses don't like a straight bit. Some horses don't like a curve. Some horses don't like a port. Some horses have to have a port. Some horses want to put their tongue over the port,
Mm-hmm.
over the bit. So now you got to have a tongue bit. But there's so many different bits. I wish that one bit would do it all, but they won't. So the question you asked me was what I would recommend for somebody to do that's wanting to start training. And I've kind of got off on the bit thing, but I can get deep into this. And what I've got into is the reason I said all that is just to elaborate on what I'm saying is, you need to know how to work with people, because you need, as a trainer, you need to let your people understand why this horse needs this certain bit. This why this horse has to be like this, or why you've done what you've done. You've got to know how to talk to people. You got to be honest with them. You can't
Mm-hmm.
just you can't just lie to them and say, oh, he's just good. He's just me and him just done such a good day today. No good and
Yeah.
well, he's not. I mean, just tell them the truth. They understand. So you got to know
Right.
you got to know your people. Second of all, you got to be dedicated. You can't do it for a living. I don't think somebody's gonna wake up one day. You know what? I need a job. What am I gonna do? Shoot, I'm gonna start training horses. That sounds like fun. I don't think it's something you do because you wake up one day and you just need to go to work. I think it's something you do because you have a love for it. Something
Right.
that you love to be with these animals, and kind of like what I do. It's not nothing that I thought I would end up doing one day. It's just something that's grown on me over the years. And like I
Right.
said, you got to stay after it too. You can't give up. If you go ask a horse across the creek and it's getting late, you got to get to bed at 9, and you're out here at 8:30 trying to get a horse across the creek, and he says no, you might be in for a long night. You
Right.
might you can't just give up and go back to the house just because the horse won't cross the creek. I mean, you can't give up. You've got to put him across that creek, or you've not
Right.
ever seen anything. You got to cross that creek. It don't care if it takes you 2 in the morning. What I'm trying to say is, you never put a horse up on a bad note, no matter what time it is, what you're in the middle of. Don't put him up on a bad note. Put him up on a good note. If you know you got to be somewhere at 9 o'clock and you're out there at 8:30, and you said, well, he ain't never been across the creek. Let's see if he'll go. That's a bad idea. Don't try it. Just go back to the house. Never ask a horse to do something you know he ain't going to do, especially if you ain't got the time to finish it off. Just turn
Right.
around and go home and try it again tomorrow. Whenever I ask the horse to do something new, I've got time on my hands because I'm going to finish it through. So you got to be
I like
dedicated,
that.
guys. If you're going to do this, you need to be dedicated. You need to have a good insurance policy. All right, you got to have a good insurance policy, and
Right.
you got to know how to talk to people. And I would suggest that you have the love for animals.
I I couldn't agree with you anymore. I think you hit the nail on the head as far as what you need to start with training. Because whether people know it or not, horse training is just like any other business. Um, and having people skills and stuff like that is a big part of having a business and owning a business and being able to work with the people like you said. So yeah, I think that's great advice. Last question. Last question is, what advice would you give? Well, wait, before I get this last question, for anybody that's gotten on the live since we said to share the post for a free hat, share it now, and you'll be entered in a chance to win a raffle, to win a hat. Yeah, he's showing you the blue trucker hat we got. We've got that in red. We also have this black one, and then we have some dad hats as well that'll be here soon. But share this video and you'll be entered into that raffle. Very last question for you, Emerson. What is the best advice for someone that wants to train their own horse? They don't want to train from the public, but they want to start training their own horses, and they just need to know, where to start. Like, what should they be doing to start training their own horses for them to be safe and be able to ride wherever and whatever they want to do with the horse. What should they be doing?
I am working on a video right now that explains every bit of that. I call it the name of the video was called the initial 30 days, and that was I
Oh,
made
I
this
think you may
video
have
back
froze up
whenever.
on.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
I made a video about training your own horse, and I'm working on getting it put out on DVD. And the name of the video is called the initial 30 days. The initial 30 days will show you every step you need to do, every step that I do. Let's put it that way. Every step that I do to train a horse under saddle in 30 days, what I call starting. And I've actually got this written. I've got the written copy, and I've shared the written copy. It's on my horsemanship page, and I'll share it
Okay.
again. Everybody wants it. Just PM me. I'll send you the written copy. It is step by step. I've got a book coming too. It's step by step. Step one, day one. Step two, day two. It's phases. I think it's phases. I go think of it. Step one, phase one. It goes to like 10 or 11 different phases, and this is a 30-day process. And the first thing we do, and this video will go on all night if I told you all this, but anyway, real short, a summary. First thing you're going to do is establish leadership.
Okay.
Okay, with your new horse. We're going to teach it. We're going to teach it sounds, verbal commands. We're going to put it in a round pen. It's going to go. We're going to say,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, it's going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
If it don't do that, we're not going to continue to the next step. Okay?
Okay.
Get in there, you big whip. Kiss at him. Whoop at him a little bit. Whoop the ground. Don't have to hit the horse. I'm not asking you to beat your horse. Whoop at him a little bit. Get him going. Get him spinning. Step back. Say, whoa. When he stops, if he don't stop, just get back in his way. Eventually, you're going to do this enough that he's going to know that when you say, whoa, he's going to stop. Go back to kissing at him. Every time you kiss at him, don't whip him yet. Eventually, just kiss at him. And if he does not move, then whip. And then when he takes off, do the whoa. And do this every day, several times a day. And if do it for hours. And I can guarantee you ain't going to have to whip him very many times. He's going to understand what that means. Okay. So once he understands go, he's going to take off. That way, when I get in the saddle, I'm not going to have to stick my spurs in him and start whooping, and get that reaction. All I'm going to do is get on the saddle and I'm going to go, and he's going to walk off because he knows to do that because we taught him at the round pen. And I'm also going to say whoa, and he's going to stop. I'm not even going to have to use my hands. I'm going to say whoa. That's correcting the horse. I don't have to correct you. If he already understands the go and the whoa and the round pen, then when I get on his back, he's already going to know that. We're going to teach him to yield to pressure on the ground. We're going to in a halter, we're going to pull the left, we're going to pull right. He's going, when he starts giving, real nice, real flexible. It takes time. Whenever I can walk up that horse and I can flex him to the left and to the right and backwards, forwards, then he's ready. Whenever I get him in the round pen, I kiss at him. I'll take some ropes, I hook to him, and I'll pull him left and right. And when he starts working that head and he starts going back and forth, he's ready. I'll move him on up to a bit. If you're a bitted person, I'm a bitted person. A lot of people's not bitted. I'm a bitted person. I believe in bits. I'll put a bit in his mouth, a snaffle bit, and we'll do the same thing. Left, right, whoa, and go with the bit. And I'll do that for I think I'll spend about 7 days on the ground. And I got a big driving harness. I got a harness, syringe things we put on him, and some drive lines. And I'll drive the horse from the ground. I'll kiss at him. He'll walk off. I'll be on the ground. We'll go left and right, whoa, and go on the ground. And whenever he does this perfectly, if he's messing up and he's rearing and a bucking and flipping upside down, it's not time to get on him. And when he does this perfectly, flawlessly, and most of the time, I'll even have him broke to the creek before I ever get on their back. I'll take that drive line and I'll drive them through the creeks. I'll drive them through all the scary stuff, and then we'll get on their back. But we'll do that. That's the first week. Second week, we have a leader horse, what we call leader horse. He's an experienced trail horse, and we'll put him in the front. The new horse is just in the back. He's just kind of following around, things like that. But anyway, it's a big draw, that thing. But if you're going to train your own horses, I just hit me up, and I will send you step-by-step instructions of how I train, what I would suggest for you to do if you're going to train your horse. So, and it's all about staying safe. We don't want nobody to get hurt. Staying safe.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Emerson, I appreciate your time. I don't know if you have any questions for me that you may want to ask or uh, or want to know. But if not, then we'll conclude it unless you have anything else you want to say or ask.
Not right off.
Or if anybody is if you have any time, anybody on the live want to ask some questions.
Yeah, if anybody's live, you got a question, ask me a question. Ask it a question. Ask us questions. We'll answer.
Sure.
Sure. It's no problem. Anyways, Ashton.
You got any? Do you have any horses for sale you may want to talk about? I noticed you made a post the other day about some horses. So
I do. I've got a barn full, but I can't talk about it live, especially live.
Oh yeah. Of course.
They're after me. So I'm telling you, Facebook is all over me, and I have a barn full of the best that ever hit this earth, and I do, and that's all I take in. I don't take in junk. I can't make no money on junk. I got good horses, and they're consignment horses. They don't belong to me. They belong to other people, and they're cream of the crop. They're in here. I've got them. I can't even advertise them right now, but I have a MeWe group that I've started up, and they're on there. You can PM me, and I can show you how to get to them. But as far as talking about them on here, I better not. We'll get our video shut down.
Yeah. No, I think you're going about it the right way.
Yes, sir.
It looks like we have a question. Let's see. Why do you both choose to focus on gaited horses? You want to answer that first, Emerson?
Okay, my focus, the reason I chose gaited horses is because they chose me. That's all I know. I was raised in gaited horses. There was no such thing as a quarter horse for me growing up. They all gaited. So
right.
It's something that until I was quite a bit older, I didn't even realize a horse wouldn't gait. I thought they all gaited. So I didn't really choose them. They chose me, and shoot, I've stuck with them. That's just how I got into it. And I don't know about Ashton, but I'll let him answer his.
Actually, I have about the same answer. Growing up, I've always been around gaited horses. Actually, my dad was he was a team roper back in his day, but that was way before my time. And by the time I came around, he had gotten into gaited horses, and our family, other family members, have always ridden gaited horses, and he rode gaited horses too while he team rode. But by the time I by the time I was born, he was strictly riding gaited horses, and that's what I grew up on, and that's all I ever known. So, and I just kind of fell in love with them over the years. I kind of got away from them for a while, playing traveling, playing baseball and stuff like that. But they always say you always come back to your love. So after I got through playing baseball for some years, I came back to it and just kind of noticed that all the voids that the gaited horse breed has. It doesn't. There's a lot of things that we don't compare to other breeds, and that's kind of my focus. I really want to put the spotlight on the gaited horse breed, because I think we're just as important, if not more important than any other breed out there. I won't say more important, because I think they're all important, um, but I just think there's a lot to be learned about the gaited horse, and I think people want to know. So
There's
that'd be my. What
I
was
agree
that? Go
with
ahead.
that. I agree with you. I can do anything with a gaited horse that you can do with one that isn't gaited, but you can't do what I do on my gaited horse with a quarter horse.
Very true. Very true.
I can do what you can do. I might not do it as good. Now
Yeah.
I gotta say the quarter horses are built for different disciplines, but I
Right.
can do it. We can do it, and I feel that a gaited horse is a horse for all occasions. That's just me.
Definitely. Definitely. Emerson, it looks like there's a question for you. It says thoughts on Bosal. I think that's how you pronounce it. Bosal, from Cheryl Brewer.
Bosel. I'm not sure what that is. You?
I I can't call it. I'm not sure what she meant by that question.
Sorry, Cheryl. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sorry. If you can elaborate on it a little bit, we'll be glad to answer your question.
For sure. Definitely.
We'll give her a minute
Um,
here. It's live a little
also
bit.
too, while we're waiting on Cheryl to elaborate a little bit, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's chimed in, commented, shared. We definitely appreciate it. Emerson and I, we have a lot. Oh, I think she means riding. She says riding without a bit.
Hackmore. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I got you. A Boston Brattle. Um, sorry, I didn't understand that, but yeah. What do I think about bitless? I have to admit, I'm a bitted guy. I like my bits, but the first thing I do when teaching a horse to ride and training a horse, I teach him to yield to pressure without a bit. So we start off in just a halter. He'll give so my horses are already trained to accept a bitless bridle before I ever put a bit on them. I just happen to like a bit, but certain horses, sure, bitless. Hackmores, mechanical hackmores, I'm against them. I don't like mechanical hackmores. I don't like them. That we're gonna open a can of worms here because the nose on a horse is so fragile. At the tip of its nose, right where that bit sits, right where that big mechanical hackamore rides on that horse's nose, that is the most fragile bone. It's thin as paper. I don't know if you all have ever looked at the skull head, but I have a horse's skull head, and you can take that bone right where that bit sits and look it up if you want to. Type of hackmore, yeah. The mechanical hackmores that ride on that bone, you can take that bone on a skull of a horse. You can take it and move it. It moves. You can flex it with your finger, and you can actually see through it. You can hold a light behind it. You can see the light through it, no problem. So I don't like nothing like that, and I've actually seen noses broke with mechanical hackmores. I don't like a
mm,
mechanical hackmore. Now, as far as the bitless bridle, if it's trained right, trained for it, I have nothing against it. I have nothing against it personally. I don't train for them. I don't like it. I can almost say I don't like it. I don't train for it. I train with bits. That's what I do. Um, will I? Will you send me one? Say, Emerson, I want it bitless. Absolutely, yes. You look at my videos. I ride them around bitless anyways. I ride them around with nothing but a halter or just a little piece of string in their mouth. It don't matter to me. I'll train it any way you want it trained. Just because I don't like it or I don't do it, don't mean I won't do it. I will train to your preference, not mine. My preference is the bit. But now, if your preference is bitless or whatever it is, I'll try to train it to that. So that's kind of what we do. But I'm not no fan of no mechanical hack mower, guys.
I've never been one for a Hackamore either, but I think that's mainly because it's just um, they were never around. We always used the bit, and that's all I've ever known. I definitely know what a Hackamore is, um, but yeah, I have some buddies that use one. In fact, I don't know if Felix is still on here, but he uses the bit the Hackamore quite a bit, and
On
I'm
E-clip.
sure he can. Yeah, 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 and some other horses he's had. I'm sure he could probably teach a class on the Hackamore, but yeah, that's just not something that I've been um, exposed to much.
You see the hack more used in the Pasifino world. Seems like more really than you do anywhere else, really. And honestly, I think it's just because, and I may be wrong, I don't know, but maybe it's just because they're just so natural, so naturally gated. That the only thing you just pretty much sit there anyway. They do their thing, but a lot of the
Right,
horses, I feel that you start working around with bridleless horses, and they're a little bit harder to fine tune in their gait. To me, they are, and maybe because I'm not experienced in it real well. But to me, I can change the bit up on a horse sometimes. I can just tell what it's doing with its mouth. I can change a bit up sometimes on a horse and get it right in its gait pretty quick. Versus if I was riding around with a bitless bridle, then I might be just fighting the wind. I just can't do nothing with it. So I feel that I can control the horse with the mouth a lot easier. I can feel the horse. I can feel the horse
right,
with the mouth. Riding a gaited horse is all about your hands and the feel with your hands and your feet and really getting rhythm with your horse. And if I'm
certainly,
riding a bitless bridle, I really don't feel it. I lose all that. So
right,
I don't feel that I can fine tune him as good as I could if I had a bit in. But now, like I said, I will train it to anything you want to. But my personal preference is I don't like it. But Cheryl, I do appreciate the question. I hope
definitely,
that answer was okay for you.
definitely, definitely. Well, if no one has any more questions, I guess we'll go ahead and we'll end this session. I do think though we touched on a few subjects that could probably go in a lot deeper. So if if you'd be up to it, we could definitely do some follow up videos of specific uh, points and kind of dive in a little deeper for some people that want to learn a little bit more. As far as bidding and shoeing and whatever. You know, so we could
Same
work that out,
concept.
Emerson.
Sure, absolutely, and that'd be great. We like I said, we further on down the road, me and you can get together and do this more. I enjoyed it. It's been fun for me. This is my first
For
time.
sure,
This is a new experience for me. It's a great experience. I feel honored just to be here talking to you, Ashton, and I
for
appreciate
sure,
you inviting me to the interview. Um,
for sure.
and it's just something that could be anybody's got questions they can just ask us, and I'll give you my honest answer. I'm not going to lie to you guys just because it sounds good. I'm sorry. You might hate me for that. You might hate me for my honesty, but I will flat out tell you what I think of your horse, and I will tell you what what I would do to the horse, whether you like it or not. And that's just how it is. If you don't like my answers, then there's other trainers out there. But
That's right.
I definitely ain't gonna lie to you. I know what sounds good. I know what sounds good. I know what sounds pretty, and I know what would keep you coming back. But I'm not that type of guy. I want results. I don't like. I want results, okay, and I want to show you some results. That's what I
That's right.
focus on. All
That's
right.
right.
I can't get results.
That's
I
right.
can't get results lying to you and making up a bunch of fairy tale stuff.
That's right.
And I see
That's
a lot
right.
of these clinics. They want to call them clinics. I see a lot of that going on, guys, and it's just fairy tale world. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
They're just wasting your time. And they ain't no
Yeah.
wonder there's so much confusion. Look, guys, you take 20 people, put them in a room, and set the Bible down. Set the Bible down there in the room and have them to read that and read a couple of verses out of that and listen to everybody and how they would interpret that. They would interpret that so many different ways that only somebody's right and somebody's wrong. What I'm trying to say is you can watch these videos online, and a lot of these trainers are correct in what they do, but you can absolutely interpret that wrong and then bring it home and show it to your horse, and it just go backwards, and you think, well, that trainer's crazy. He ain't crazy. Maybe not just didn't understand the question real good. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, give these trainers a chance, and I don't think they're all full of crap, but a lot of them is. But there's some good ones out there now. I know some good ones right here locally, right here in Eastern Kentucky, the best. I think some of the best horse trainers in the world is right here in Eastern Kentucky. I'm
Well,
a lot of good friends with a lot of them.
I tell you what. The ones that I guess you can say that are full of it, they won't be interviewing. I'm sure of it, because the longer you talk, the people will be able to sift through that. You know what I mean? And that's definitely who I'm looking to pick brains of, people that are going to be honest, people that are not just going to tell you what you want to hear, and people that understand that there's a lot to learn even for them, and and they want to share the knowledge. That's who we're looking to interview.
Here's a question.
Like I said, uh huh.
We got a question. Go ahead and finish up what you said. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no. I was just saying that I just I just wanted to say that that we're doing this because I know how it is for people to the who's of the horse world, and if you don't know that person, you can't get the information. And the people that a lot of these trainers don't want to give the information away because they think that means that they're going to lose business, and that is not the case. That is not the case.
Too many horses standing around, guys. I mean, there's enough
Exactly.
horses for everybody. You're not
Exactly.
going to, if you, to be honest with you people, you're not going to be looking for horses. That's back what I was telling you earlier. You're not going to be out hunting for horses if you just do your job. What people want most as as a client to a horseman, if somebody sends you a horse, you know what they want the most. They want you to do what you tell them you're going to do. If you're going to tell them you're going to ride their horse 5 days a week, you better bet they want you on it 5 days a week. Whether you're doing right or wrong with it, you need to be riding it. You need to do
Right.
what you tell people. Just do what you tell them, and just if you'll just do that, then and people's not as stupid as you think they are. I mean, people
Exactly.
know. I mean, yeah, it's a whole nother can of worms, but just do what you're paid to do, guys. If somebody pays you to ride a horse for them, then ride the thing. I mean, just do it. Send them
That's right.
videos. Stay connected with your clients. Don't just wait 30 days and say, well, he ain't done nothing no different. Ain't no update. Stay with your people. Let them know how your horses is doing, and let them know whether it's good or bad. Just tell them the truth. Tell them right where you're at. I mean, sometimes the truth ain't what I want to tell them. I would love to tell everybody their horses are doing great. I would love to, but sometimes I have to deliver the bad news. I mean, it comes with it. But I
That's
think that
right.
they respect it. I think they respect it.
Certainly they
Okay, the
will.
question.
Certainly will.
We got a question
Uh,
from Tanya Summy. I guess that's how you pronounce your last name. I apologize if it's not. The question's coming out of the quarter horse world, more indicated. What is the best advice you can give? Okay, coming out of the quarter horse world, more indicated. Tanya, back to what I was saying earlier, the gated is all I know, and I apologize that I can't elaborate on that question no better than I do, but I will try. Because in order to answer that question correctly, I feel that I would have to come out of the quarter horse world and go into gated. I would have to experience what you're asking, and I've not. I've been raised on gated horses. That's all I know. That's all I've ever seen. So as far as coming out of the quarter horse world, going into gated, I really don't know how to give you a real great advice. But the best advice I would know to tell you is get a naturally gated horse. Do not get one that you have to work him in the mouth or do something special, set certain ways and all that. Get a nice gaited horse. Try the horse out. Don't buy one because a rider, you watch him ride down the road, he looks good. Because I can be honest with you, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but a lot of times I can ride a horse and make it gait, and you won't be able to. But what you need to do as coming out of the quarter horse world and going into the gated horse world, you need to make sure that you can make that horse gait. You need to make sure that horse works for you, not just me. Just because I make it look good, you might not be able to, and that's just because of experience. So what I would suggest is you get you a horse that you can ride so easy, and he just gaits flawlessly down the road, and you like that, and then you can learn from that horse. That horse will be your teacher horse, and then from there you can grow. And once you learn him, you can just get better and better with him, and then you grow from there. So that my suggestion to you is to get a good quality gaited horse that's already doing it, and you go try him out and make sure he works for you. Don't just go off of a video or somebody else riding him.
For sure, for sure. I think if you can get you a just to piggyback on what you said, Emerson, if you can get you a sure enough good gaited horse, then that horse will teach you a lot, and it'll teach you all the basics you need to know. It'll teach you all the basics you need to know about a gaited horse, and then you can just go from there. Definitely, definitely. I have a horse in mind that I learned a lot from, and it was my dad's horse. He died about 4 years ago. He at 30 years old, and he taught me a lot. His name was Casper, and I'm telling you, he probably rode every kid in my hometown. He was a good horse, and he taught, you could pretty much just sit on him, and he would teach you everything. And but yeah, I think that's a great answer, Emerson. Let's see. Do we have any more questions? Certainly.
Anybody got a question before we go? It's been fun. It's been real. I mean, I like it. It's.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity, man.
For sure, for sure. Well, I don't see any more questions, so I guess we'll go ahead and conclude. And it appears that we got the feedback on doing some later videos, so we'll definitely get together and see if we can put something together. Maybe we can get some questions to talk about.
Yeah, sure. I've got somebody has given me
we'll some questions on the next video.
They give me some questions.
Wait, Tanya said something. Let's see if before we leave. I have rode and I want to gain it, but honestly, just want to go toe. Hey, I will say this, Tanya, like Emerson said, I don't know much about the quarter horses, but I just don't feel like you'll go wrong going gated. Well, we're gonna say goodnight.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel that there's more money in quarter horses that's training. I feel that they are. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm just too cheap. But it seems like the quarter horse seems like the quarter horses. You start teaching around these barrel patterns and things like that, and it seems like there's big bucks in that kind of stuff. So, you know, and you know, it may be something you want to stick to. Sometimes if you're training horses, like I said, you got to have the love for it. You got to have the passion for it to begin with. But also, if you're on the fence about a certain discipline, I'm going to go with the discipline that's got the money, where the money is. That's what I would do. So if you can make better money training quarter horses, I would stick with quarter horses. But it's whatever you enjoy the most is really what I would boil down to, really. Rob Winiger, what is your favorite breed? My favorite breed is a Rocky Mountain. I like a good 4-beat gaited Rocky Mountain horse. That's what I like. I like one with style. I like one with speed. Not a typical Rocky, but I like a good laid back, stylish speed horse. He's got some speed, big front end on him, blow back in the bridle, look good. I want when I come by you on a horse, I want everybody to say, "What in the world is that?" That's the kind of horse I like. I like them to ask questions. I like them to say, "What have you done to that horse? What have you?" You know, that's the kind of horse I like. I don't like a typical horse. I like something that stands out in a crowd, and I bet you $1 that 95% of people watch this video likes the same thing.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
You know,
I'm a Rocky Mountain.
actually, the first thing I thought when I seen that question is what you described. It's not necessarily breed, because to me, I really don't care what the breed is, as long as it's performing like I like. I could care less what type of breed it is, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I've had all types. I've had a bunch of crossbred horses, um, but like Emerson said, if they'll get behind a bridle and you know, have a little speed to them, they don't have to be the fastest thing in the world, but if they have a little speed to them and can sit up in a bridle real good and has manners, and you know, I like a horse that anybody can ride too. Uh, that's a big one. But like I said, the breed doesn't matter. As long as it can do that, I'll definitely spend my last on it.
That is why I switched to the Rocky Mountains, and I'll tell you a little story here real quick. Um, I used to my favorite breed in the world, I guess, would have to be a standard bred racking horse, good old racking horse. I like a good racking horse. I love a good standard bred. But I'll tell you the faults I found to some of them, and I don't want to hurt the breed. There's somebody out there watching right now that says I got the best standard bred in the world. But anyway, a lot of the ones I've rode was tended to be just a little bit hot sometimes, or they wasn't what you'd call something that a kid could ride. So I started looking into mountain horses, and I wanted to get a mountain horse with a little bit of maybe some standard bred mixed in with him. So I think we crossed the standard bred in with these laid back mountain horses, and we start getting a little bit more motor, a little bit more, you know, a calmer motor, more of a same kind of horse what I like. He's blow back, he's calm, same time that anybody can ride him, and he's got a great disposition. He's not hot. So don't get me wrong. My favorite, I guess, is probably a good, like just kind of like what Ashton just said. I like a good racking horse, but he's got to have a good disposition, and that's kind of why I went with the Rocky Mountain. But I went and found the Rocky Mountains that also do the rack. So I got the breed. I got the breed. You know, the discipline of the breed. The you know, easy going and laid back kind of breed. But I also got the performance of the racking horse in with that breed. So I kind of got the best of both worlds, is what I feel. So there's a certain line of Rocky Mountain horses that I just love. You know, that's just where I'm at with that.
To piggyback a little bit on the standard breds, I definitely love the standard bred breeds. So I'm the guy that you're offending, Emerson. Just no, I'm just
I
kidding.
don't, you know, I love standard brand.
No,
Yes,
no,
sir. But
but to piggyback on that though, I think a lot of the standard breds that get the bad names are really because they get them off the racetrack, and these
yeah,
horses have been trained to go and
wide
get the
open.
money. You know, they're trained to go to get the money, and those sometimes those horses are typically hard to ease up. You know, they all they know is go. But I think when you get your hands on one that hasn't been touched, one that hasn't been around, hasn't been around the track life, they're a lot more calmer than than the ones you see most of the time. Because like I said, most people that have standard breds, they've 9 chances out of 10 they've been around that track, and it's just sometimes it's kind of tough to get one to calm down after that. You can do it. There are some that's they'll go race Thursday, and then you can put a kid on them the next day, or right after the race you can. But that's just not it's not typical. Just not typical. Let's see. Do we have any more questions? I think that's it. I think that's it. Emerson, let's go
All
ahead and
right,
conclude, and we'll definitely get together again. This was a great time.
guys, thanks for watching. Um, there will be some prizes given away. I appreciate y'all viewing. Without you guys, we ain't nothing. We can't do nothing without our audience.
Facts.
Appreciate y'all sticking with us,
That's
and
right.
we're gonna get some of this stuff out to the mail. Some of y'all, and
Yes,
check
sir.
out Gated. Check them out. There will be a link provided in the description of this video. You just go right to his website and find the stuff. It's nice stuff. Seems like a lot of people's already getting it. It's kind of new to the market. It's great stuff, guys. Anyway, check him out. Thank you for viewing. If you got any more questions, if you think you should do it again, let us know and we'll do it again. Ashton, it was good meeting you. I appreciate everything you've done for me. I appreciate this interview. Man, if there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. And same thing to you guys watching tonight. I appreciate
sure.
each and every one.
Definitely, definitely.
All right.
Everybody have a good night. We'll see you soon.
All right, y'all stay tuned for more, okay? See
All
you.
right.